We're back in to the conversation known as, in my own words, the podcast. Yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Once again, folks, if you have a thought on who would be your alpha males or alpha personalities defensively, you can call 205-448-1358. The number again, 205-448-1358 for those alpha male personalities. But now, we dive into the conversation that people have been waiting on. Bryce Young conversation. Bryce Young. Going back to the trip I had getting back on the bus from Alabama basketball and talking to the number of fans that I spoke with, conversation jumped on quarterback. So somebody said, hey, do you think it's going to be the quarterback next season? And of course I mentioned Mac Jones, but then I said I'm excited for the potential that Bryce Young has. By the time I got the word Young out of my mouth, the guy's like, man, I can't wait to see Bryce Young, man. That kid gonna be a beast. That kid gonna be a monster. He gonna set the whole world. Ain't that the kid from California that had the Great All-American Bowl? Yeah, him. That kid, you ain't gonna be able to stop that kid. He gonna be smoking everybody out. And of course, I was also next to a young lady who's possibly a student on campus. She was like, oh, he cute too. I want to see Bryce Young go out here and slang the rock and do his thing. Like, Bryce Young, if you want to call me, hey, call me, Bryce Young. But then people are excited about Bryce Young. People are very excited for Bryce Young, and for obvious reasons. 5-star from California. He started his career off at Cathedral High School in Los Angeles, California, before transferring to the powerhouse Mater Dei High School in Santa Ana, California. Had a solid high school career, over 13,000 passing yards, he had 152 total touchdowns in his career, and a guy that his high school coaching staff was very proud of him. Alabama, Nick Saban has mentioned this, that he absolutely loves this young man, loves the talent, loves the character, loves the charisma, loves the ability, loves the family he comes from, just made up of the right stuff. This comes from Nick Saban. And Steve Sarkisian went through a lot of resources to make sure that Alabama was able to land Bryce Young in this class. Young right now currently one of 13 early enrollees, and he's been leading the freshman group through the fourth quarter weight training program under Alabama's director of strength and conditioning, that being Scott Cochran. But the question everybody wants to know, can Bryce Young, or will Bryce Young unseat Mac Jones to be the number one starting quarterback for the Crimson Tide? Will Bryce Young be able to do this? And I mentioned on last week's show that I like the potential Bryce Young brings to the table. I like his arm. I like his personality. I like his athleticism. I like the fact that he is a true dual threat, because when a lot of people look at dual threat quarterbacks, they look at, okay, that boy can run a mile long, and that boy is elusive, and he's fast, and he's dynamic with his feet, but he can only throw a little bit, and they just put dual threat by his name because he can run well, but he can't really throw well, but they still call it a dual threat. That's not a dual threat. A dual threat is the ability to throw just as well or just as effective as you run, probably even more effective throwing, just due to you got to have these passes in the hands of receivers or these targets at that right time, accurate, precise, and anticipating those set throws, and Bryce Young can do those things. Now, for me, I go back to two aspects I mentioned on Bryce Young. Number one, because I want to see him when he gets here. I'm one of those cats that you can be great in high school, but just because you are great in high school does not necessarily mean you're going to translate over to the college game. Case in point, look at my man, Ben Davis. Look at my man, Ben Davis. Ben Davis was a beast in high school, was a beast at Gordo, was a freaking monster. His father was Wayne Davis, for Christ's sake, the all-time leader in tackles with 327 in school history. And we all thought Ben is going to come in, he going to blow the dough off this thing, man. Ben going to drop the coop off that top, man. Ben, bruh. And Ben God bless his heart, man. Bean is having the worst time just trying to consistently stay on the field. So we can see right now, just because you are dynamic in high school does not automatically mean it will transition over to the college game. Bryce Young has not taken a college snap yet. We have at least seen Mac Jones take a few college snaps, more than a few. And he's actually done quite well for those who have been watching. I mean, Mac Jones, of course, he got a little bit nervous against Tennessee, but went out there, played well against Arkansas, played well against Auburn despite 2 pick sixes, played well against Michigan in the Citrus Bowl, and showed Steve Sarkisian, hey, even though the boy Tua Tagovailoa went down, I can slang that thing too. I'm Mac 10, baby. I'm fully loaded assault rifle. Put me out there. I can do that too. I can cock and fire with the best of them. So Mac Jones went out there and was able to do that. But just getting back to Bryce Young, number one, will he be able to pick up what Steve Sarkisian is teaching him? And the good news about all of that is he ran an offense in high school that is similar, very similar to what Alabama is running with Coach Sark. So that's good news for Bryce Young. And then number two, how effectively, in a positive way, can he have the teammates around him going, Mac, I love you, bruh, but Bryce Young's my quarterback. Mac, I love you, bruh, but I want to block for Bryce Young. Mac, I love you, bruh, but I want Bryce Young handing me the football at the backfield. Mac, I love you, bruh, but I want Bryce Young throwing me the ball. So how quickly can he positively affect the players around him to where when he touches that field, everybody wants to see, and by everybody, I mean everybody in that football complex wants to see Bryce Young as the guy. He's got potential. He's got immense potential. And I understand people coming from this angle. Steven, if Alabama plays against a team that's going to score, hopefully this upcoming season, the defense is way better or much better to where it doesn't allow all the score. But if Alabama goes against a team that's giving up score, you got to have a quarterback that can keep up with that and keep Alabama within striking distance. And Bryce Young, to a lot of people, is that guy. And I understand that because you had that guy with Tua Tagovailoa just a season ago. But I go back to the point that I just mentioned here. Mac Jones proved he can run this offense. And I'll say this. I'll say this right here. Najee Harris came back for his senior season. He's coming back for his senior year. If Tua Tagovailoa would have came back for his senior year, I think Alabama would have lost Najee Harris to the NFL draft. And here's why. Najee Harris, yes, he got a 3rd to 4th round draft grade and was not happy about that, but he met up with some of the guys, some of the coaches. He met up with the coaching staff before he went home to California for a few days to be with his family. And in talking with the coaching staff, they sold Najee Harris on this. They said, Najee, if you come back to run the football, to be our main running back for 2020, we are going to give you every single opportunity to get the carries you want to get the yards you want to get the opportunities you want to get. Basically saying, if you come back, Najee Harris, we're making you the focal point of the offense. We're going to give you every shot to win the Heisman Trophy, and we're going to do this with Mac Jones at quarterback. They sold this to Najee Harris with Mac Jones being the guy. And the reason why they sold it with Mac being the guy is, and I'll put it to you like this. As great as Tua Tagovailoa was, as great as he was, a lot of people, Tua took some opportunities from Najee in a sense of Tua's mind was, well, I got to throw. If I got Judy open, if I got Ruggs open, if I got Waddle open, if I got Smitty open, I trust our guys over anything the opposition puts out there. I'm throwing the football. And that took chances away from Najee just due to when you have the lead, you got to lean on that opposing defense, get them tired, and have your defense rest some. So while Tua's go, 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 go. Nick Saban is ball control, calm it down, rest our defense, weigh on their defense, and you got two strong personalities there kind of butting heads versus a Mac Jones. You would have the best of both worlds here. You would allow for an opportunity for Najee Harris to get his carries, get his opportunities, because the only game that Tua played in that Najee got his yards on the ground was against LSU, and it was LSU. You got to run Najee against LSU. Aside from that, the only time Najee's carries really climbed and went up was when, Mac Jones was running the show at the quarterback position. So they sold this offense on Najee being the focal point with Mac Jones at quarterback. But can Bryce Young do this? Can Bryce Young go out here in spring ball and unseat Mac Jones? Can Bryce Young come out here in spring ball and have Taulia Tagovailoa thinking, I got to transfer out here. I got to get the heck out of here. Can Bryce Young come in here, spring ball, and have Paul Tyson thinking, I'm a legacy guy and I'm bigger than the name, but man, this Bryce Young kid is having me think different. So, can he do this? He's got the talent. He's got the ability. I'm excited to see him. Spring ball cannot get here fast enough, because once March gets in here, and once, of course, the media, myself, and other guys are able to go out there and get photos and videos and sound bites and player interviews and hear from Coach Saban, I want to see can Bryce Young do it. I want to see can Bryce Young do this thing. Because if he can do this thing, it's going to be very, very entertaining. But 205-448-1358, the number to call in, 205-448-1358. Do you think Bryce Young will unseat Mac Jones? And if he does, what game will he unseat Mac Jones? What time, what moment, and what situation? 205-448-1358, the number to call in, 205-448-1358. Do you think that Bryce Young will unseat Mac Jones? Or if you had a thought about your three guys that must be alpha male personalities on defense, if you thought that Josh Jacobs was robbed from being NFL Rookie of the Year, any of these three topics, 205-448-1358. But while you're getting your thoughts together, we're going to go to another break. We're coming back in my own words.
If you're an avid Alabama Crimson Tide fan and you love to flaunt it, then show your Alabama Crimson Tide support by grabbing the All-Bama sneakers. They feature bold Crimson Tide graphics, so no one will be able to question where your allegiance lies. When you add these sweet sneakers to your Alabama Crimson Tide collection, go to stsfootwear.com and use the code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. That's code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. Go to stsfootwear.com and get your All-Bama sneakers today.